Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today, obviously, you can see that I am going to be doing a video about the Chelsea Garden Show. Now, if you aren't familiar with it, because a lot of people aren't, it's maybe one of the biggest garden shows in the world, if not the biggest, where they show off different landscapers and what they can do. Different ideas that you can get for your own garden, and vendors are invited as well, so there's a lot of people selling things or showcasing their products, and a lot of their products are plants, right? And so I was really fortunate. I was able to go. My sister, she's living in London right now, and so we planned a trip. We did lots of other things, but this was one of the highlights of it, where we got to go to the Chelsea Garden Show and look around. I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on it, and if you ever go, maybe some like tips on things I wish that I had known. But truly an amazing experience. If you ever have the chance to go to the Chelsea Garden Show, or any garden show really, I highly recommend it. It was so much fun. I'm nerding out. I'm nerding out. I loved it. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm just gonna go through some of the footage that I was taking on my GoPro while I was there. I didn't capture every single thing that we saw, but I did capture quite a bit of it so you guys can get an idea of what it's like, and maybe you'll get the chance to go yourself one day.
Before you even make your way into the flower show, there's something called Chelsea in Bloom that I highly recommend going to. Basically, all these shops right outside the flower show put on these beautiful, huge floral displays. They follow some sort of theme, and this year's was Extraordinary Voyages, so they had some travel theme to it, and it was so pretty. It was so much fun to look at, and I highly recommend taking some time to go and enjoy all these shops that have put on these displays. We're here at the garden show. So you can see in this video that it is pretty crowded as we come in. We got there probably around 10 a.m. so I recommend going as early as you can to avoid crowds.
Ladies and gents, have any of your barcodes ready to show. Welcome to Chelsea.
Getting into the show went really smoothly, and right away as you come in, you can see the London Gate has a floral display on it designed by Taddy Rose Flowers, and it was beautiful and there to greet you right at the very beginning of the show. So once you get into the main part of the show, you are greeted by rows and rows of vendor booths. Each one had a little section, and they offered such unique things. We looked at most every single one, and it was so much fun to do so. I would say if you're planning on coming to this show, plan for more time than you think, because there is so much to look at. Just some quick side notes as we're perusing around these stalls. The Chelsea Garden Show does not have a dress code, but in general, people are expected to dress nicely. I feel like that's the norm in England compared to the US anyway. And also, if you're planning on coming, just keep in mind that there are actually no children allowed in the Chelsea Garden Show. And as soon as you step away from the trade stands or those vendor booths, you start to see the landscapes that have been installed. And they are kind of crowded to get up to them. It is quite a push to finally be able to see them. This one is the Parsley Box Garden designed by Alan Williams. And the whole purpose of this, the borders have edibles and foraging materials, so you can literally be eating and be adding the plants to your dishes, and it minimizes food waste. I thought it was a really brilliant design. This is the M&G Garden designed by Hugo Bugg and Charlotte Harris. They designed this to kind of stimulate conversations about the importance of green spaces, which are being lost in a push to build and develop. And as you can see in the middle, there are people walking around. Those people are either special members, VIP guests, or the designers themselves. The public is not allowed in to walk around, and I know that's a bummer. There are some that you can walk in around, but this was not one of them. Another side note is that there is filming going on, whether it's with celebrities or with the designers. They are just out and about doing that in different areas. Makes it hard to see the designs, but I was honestly hoping to get a glimpse of Monty Don, which I did not, unfortunately. Here's another example of what they were calling their sanctuary gardens. This one's the Psalm 23 garden, designed by Sarah Burrell. I'm going to be showing you guys just small little clips of what gardens I was able to get footage of, not only just to show you what to expect and what it's like, but also just because they were beautiful, and I just want to share that with you guys. This one's called the Secret Boodles Garden, and you can kind of see how they created 2 rooms in this design, the inner room being the secret garden area. I thought this show garden was really cool. It was designed by Robert Myers, and he was highlighting 200 years since Florence Nightingale's birth and how she shined a spotlight on the critical roles that nurses play and how they have restored us and helped us so much throughout this coronavirus pandemic, and how nature can kind of play a role in that as well. In the show this year, they had all these different balcony gardens, starting with this one you can see here, and I'll just kind of go through so you can see some of them. But they did this because outdoor spaces outside of people's homes who lived in apartments became so important to them during lockdowns, and so they wanted to highlight all the different things you could do with your outdoor space, even if it was small, right outside of your door. Honestly, some of these were a little extra. I don't know how someone would have the money or capability to put all this stuff in their balcony, but nevertheless, they were beautiful and really fun to look at. And the Chelsea Flower Show isn't all about just plant material and flowers. This exhibit shows how beautiful the metal working could be in the artistry, and this was all around. You could come and look at it, and then I'll show you in just a second where you could go and shop for things like this. And these are those exhibitor booths I was talking about, where you can go and actually buy things, place an order to be delivered to your house, or take it with you home if it's small enough. But you can kind of get a feel for it as we're walking around, just how crowded it was, the amount of people that were there. I want to pause right here just to tell you about the food situation. There was food around and places to be sitting and eating. This was just a very small portion of it, but they did have like an outdoor food area where you could order a lot of different food, and it was really delicious, to be honest. Also, if you ever wondered what I was saying 90% of the time, this is it.
Those are beautiful.
So this is the Great Pavilion. There was so much to see inside. They have a ton of plant material where different nurseries are showing off what they can grow, and you can again make an order to be delivered to your home or take it home with you right there. They also, in the Great Pavilion, this is where all the floristry and floral design was held, so you could go and walk around and see that sort of stuff. But again, it was crowded in here, but not too bad. You kind of just walked around at your own pace and got to see all the different vendors, all the different booths, and all of it was displayed in such a beautiful way for people to be walking around so that they could enjoy it just the way it looked, all on its own. And quite obviously, the Chelsea Flower Show includes floral displays. So there's a small section in the Great Pavilion where you can go look at the different floral displays. They even had floral sculptures. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of that, but they were all amazing to see and peruse around and look at. So this was one of the larger gardens known as their feature gardens, and you can actually walk through these. This was the RHS Queen's Green Canopy Garden. It was beautiful, and it was so fun to be able to finally go into one of the landscapes and look really closely at the plants and the things growing. This one was designed by David Dodd, and it was beautiful and so fun to be in it for once. So here we have me trying to get up to see a garden. I sped up this video to twice as fast just because it takes so long. But this is going to give you a real idea of what it takes to see some of these. It's so worth it because they are beautiful, but it just takes a moment. I would kind of sit and wait for people to be done and start leaving, and I'd try and just zip in and take their spot that they had left open. And this is one of the reasons why they don't allow large hats at the flower show, because you can actually hinder people's view around you, and they don't want to do that because it's already really hard to see them with just the amount of people that are there. You can kind of tell by the look on my sister's face that she knew I was going to love this part of the flower show. They had this whole section called Houseplant Studios, and they had little installations showing off how you could implement houseplants into your home. This first one was the RHS Retail Wisely, the office garden, and each one just showed you how you could use houseplants in your home. They were beautiful. I'm going to try and not really touch the footage because this is a houseplant channel. I think you guys will enjoy this as much as I did. This houseplant studio was designed by the N1 Garden Center, and they were utilizing a palette of yellow and brown and oranges to kind of invoke the feeling of autumn and of comfort. I thought they did a great job of it. Some of the plants that they used was Bird of Paradise, Aglaonema Orange Star, Pilea Peperomoides Mojito, Bead Plant, and Philodendron Painted Lady, all of which created a beautiful houseplant studio that felt so warm and inviting. So this next one was called Pharmacy of Houseplants. It was so cool. A lot of propagation was going on in this one, and though it was called the Pharmacy of Houseplants, these plants weren't to be ingested. A lot of houseplants are harmful to eat anyway, but what they were trying to do is dispense biophilia. So visually, subconsciously, they were trying to impart mental health support and improving your mood and kind of representing a psychological balm. So again, you couldn't eat these, but mentally they could help heal you. A lot of the plants in this one also featured white in their leaves, and they were trying to allude to the white coats worn by pharmacists. So this is one of their artisan gardens, which are smaller than their show gardens, but still bigger than some of the other installments, like the houseplant studios that we were just at. But again, these are ones you can't walk into. Those must be VIP members that are in the middle of the room over there, but still so beautiful to come and look at. Next, we made our way to the container garden section, and just as you would assume, all of these designs, they had plants that were only grown from containers above ground. So it just showed the diversity of what you could do with these containers in your small spaces. And I wanted to mention that at each exhibit, they will usually have an exhibit guide like this one right here. They can answer your questions about that specific design, maybe some of the elements behind it, and it's really nice to have someone there to guide you through it if you have any questions for them. This is one of the installations, kind of similar to how they had one at the very beginning at the London Gate. But as you can imagine, this was a very popular place to be taking pictures because it was just so beautiful. On our way out, we hit up a few more of the show gardens that we had missed along the way. There was just so much to see that it was kind of easy to miss things. We had to look at our maps and make sure we had seen most of everything. But you can easily spend a day here. The Chelsea Flower Show, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It is such a beautiful flower show and so inspiring to see all these beautiful designs.
if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. I'm always coming out with houseplant related content or plant related content, always within that realm though, to help people like you who are interested in plants. Hope you guys have a great day.